Hello and welcome to Aladdin's Adventure Gadgets. In this video, we're going to be sharing our top 10 essential tips for camping like a pro. Whether you're a seasoned camper or a beginner, these tips will help you have a safe and enjoyable outdoor adventure. Tip number 1. Choose the right gear for your trip. Before you head out on your camping trip, make sure you have the right gear for the conditions you'll be facing. This includes a tent that's appropriate for the weather, a sleeping bag that's rated for the temperature, and proper clothing and footwear. Don't forget to pack a first aid kit and other essential items like a flashlight, a water bottle, and a map. Tip number 2. Set up camp before it gets dark. One of the biggest mistakes that new campers make is waiting until it's dark to set up their campsite. Not only is it harder to see what you're doing, but it's also easier to make mistakes. Try to get to your campsite early enough so that you have plenty of time to set up your tent and get your campsite organized before nightfall. Tip number 3. Know how to start a fire. If you're camping in a place where fires are allowed, learning how to start a fire can be a crucial skill. Make sure you bring plenty of fire starter materials, like matches or a fire starter, and know how to use them. It's also a good idea to bring a small stove or camping stove in case you need to cook food or boil water. Tip number 4. Stay hydrated. When you're out in the wilderness, it's important to stay hydrated. Make sure you bring plenty of water with you, and consider packing a water filter or purification tablets in case you need to treat water from a stream or lake. Tip number 5. Be mindful of your food. When you're camping, it's important to store your food properly to avoid attracting animals. Keep your food in a bear-proof container or hang it from a tree to keep it out of reach. Tip number 6. Respect the environment. When you're camping, it's important to remember that you're a guest in the natural world. Practice leave no trace principles, which means leaving your campsite in the same or better condition than you found it. This includes picking up any trash, following local rules and regulations, and minimizing your impact on the environment. Tip number 7. Know your limits. Camping is a great way to challenge yourself, but it's important to know your limits. If you're not comfortable doing something, don't do it. It's better to be safe than sorry when you're out in the wilderness. Tip number 8. Learn basic first aid. Accidents can happen when you're camping, so it's a good idea to know some basic first aid. Make sure you have a first aid kit with you, and consider taking a wilderness first aid course to learn more. Tip number 9. Know the weather forecast. Before you head out on your camping trip, make sure you check the weather forecast. This will help you pack the right gear and be prepared for any changes in the weather. Tip number 10. Have fun. Above all, remember to have fun when you're camping. It's a great way to disconnect from the stresses of everyday life and connect with nature. We hope you found these tips helpful for camping. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.